Welcome to the Cricket Boards. I'm here to my right is the Treasurer and Chairman of the High Performance Committee, Mr. Gershon Gibbons. To my left, National Coach Clay Smith. It's only 57 days before the Bermuda national squad travel to Los Angeles to take on Oman, Italy, USA, Denmark in ICC Division 4. The squad have been diligently training all year, and it's now time to reveal the final 21 the selectors have put on the table to go forward for the next 57 days. I'm also very happy to announce that we have a tour lined up this Thursday, September the 1st. 14 players will be going off to Toronto. Chairman of the selectors, Gershon Gibbons, will read the names.
Thank you. The BCB has reduced its training squad to 21 names as of August the 3rd in preparation for the ICC World Cricket League tournament in the USA from October 27th to November 5th. The players selected in the squad are as follows: O.J. Pitcher as the captain, Taryn Frey, vice captain, Trey Manders, Zico Burgess, Jordan Smith, Danico Hollis, Dalray Rollins, Kamal Lavrock, Kristen Burgess, Greg Mabry, Jordan De Silva, Joshua Gilbert, Stephen Kelly, C.J. Otterbridge, Dion Stavu, Akira Bascom, Kyrie Smith, Cameron Jaffers, Tomiko Golson, Brian Hole, and Micah Simons. In preparation for this important ICC event, the BCB has arranged a bilateral tour with Cricket Canada. The tour will be a 4-game, 50-over matches over 6 days, with the regulations mirroring the ICC tournament, which will be held in Los Angeles. The squad that will be leaving on September the 1st will be as follows: Taryn Frey will be captain, Dion Stavu, vice captain, Greg Mabry, Dalray Rollins, Kamal Lavrock, Akira Bascom, Joshua Gilbert, Jordan De Silva, Danico Hollis, Jordan Smith, Micah Simons, Brian Hole, Zico Burgess, and C.J. Otterbridge. Right now, I would like to pass it over to Mr. Clay Smith, who will answer any questions in regards to this national.
There's some discussion as far as dwindling, cutting it back, no show, certain amount of attendance had to be required. I can only call off, maybe there's a few others, but like 2. Janelle Tucker, Jacoby, or there's probably a few others as well that not included from the last board. Difficult process, and who were some of the people that had to be omitted?
Yeah, it's always a difficult process when you have to remove some of your better players. As you said, Gennaro withdrew himself because of injury. Jacoby, Alan Douglas, Chris Douglas. There's a bunch of names that I can go on and on about. But at the end of the day, I want to focus on the squad that has been chosen. These guys have met all our requirements. They have put the work in, and they have showed that they are hungry to play for Bermuda, and that's what we want.
In O.J. Picture, with the right knee injury, seeing him on Sunday against Bay on the sideline again, and I see he's not included in the outside side.
All right.
Going on.
Yes, O.J. got an MRI. He got his results back last week, and the doctors basically told him that with 3 or 4 weeks of rehab, he should be back to 100%. So we're hoping that over the next month he'll be going to Baden down at Apex to get his rehab done, and we should have him back in a few weeks.
There are some guys in the squad that are leaving this week that are not in the other 21. All right? Gordon?
No.
This should be everyone. Yeah.
Everybody in the squad that's doing is a part of the 21.
Okay. How many are you taking in October?
It will be 14. We'll have 14 and 4 standbys.
That's an ICC requirement. You're only allowed to bring 14.
All right. To the to the tournament. No secret, USA is getting a lot of favoritism and suspending. How do we counteract those from a board standpoint? Because a lot of pressure is going to be put on these players to perform, to win, and I don't think people understand the real focus or the real thing that they're up against. Because there's been a lot of preparations allowed for one country that's been in Division 4, and the others haven't been afforded the same treatment. How do we approach this?
Well, we control the controllables. I mean, we know the ICC have taken USA on as a special project, and they're putting a lot of resources in with their staff. It's not USACA that's running USA Cricket, so we expect they're going to be a tough team, but we also expect Oman will be a tough team. They're getting a lot of cricket. They played in the World T20 where they turned over Ireland. So we're going to know that we're going to be on top of our game. I'm very pleased with the work that has been put in. A lot of one-on-one coaching that's been done, the commitment of the players that want to be there. So, I think if we focus on doing what we do for what is our national sport, and really play with a lot of pride, then we'll get good results.
What emphasis are you putting on the team, Jay? First for this trip, and then obviously in October.
This trip particularly, I'm not too concerned about the results. I'm more or less, we as a team have sat down and laid out our goals that we want to achieve for this tour. So basically we're just looking to see how we hit our marks on this tour. Then we can sit down and revisit what we're going to need. If you look at the team, there's a lot of players that are there that are trying to stake a claim for the final 14. When you think about guys like OJ, Christian Burgess, possibly Trey Mandis is in a part of this. So our team can only get stronger, and that is something that we're looking to hopefully the players will grasp the opportunity to put some pressure on us as selectors when it comes to the final 14.
What's the latest on Christian's injury?
Christian's been getting some rehab over there as well. Last I heard, he was going for his final checkup to get clearance to be able to do. He's been running, he's been doing his agility work. So again, he's somebody that over the next 2 weeks he should be back ready to train at full strength.
Do you take him back up with Kiki?
This trip here, we only have one specialist with Kiki. Well, again, it depends on balance, more than likely, if Christian is selected, we'll probably take a backup wicket, or we may take a specialist wicket and pick Christian as a batsman. We really have to see just how strong his legs are and how much he can endure, because the tournament is very hectic. It's 2 days play, 1 day rest, 2 days, so it may be too much for Christian at that time. So we have to assess all these things prior to picking our final squad.
You know a lot about Canada and what they're going to prepare as far as wickets. How much do you know about what they're doing over in LA?
From what I hear, they're actually putting in some new strips at this park, and if I'm sure it's the same guy that did the ones in Indianapolis, they're probably going to be a little bit slower than normal, which would be conducive to spin bowling or slow bowling. A little bit of seam, but not too much. So again, it's a process of trying to strike that right balance when you pick your team, making sure you have enough seamers in case the wickets are seaming, and enough spinners in case we have to adapt to that as well. So it's going to be critical when it comes time to selecting our final 14.
Talking about a special wicket, what's that do
Yes, Sinclair has showed a lot of interest. He was actually part of our final 22 initially, but Sinclair withdrew himself for personal reasons. So that's where we're left with Tomiko, Okira, and basically Christian as the three keepers now, vying for a spot.
How difficult is it for you to get the right balance of attitude and talent? I mean, obviously, you're cricket yourself at a high level, and we recognize the importance of guys being committed, mentally and that sort of thing. How difficult is it for you to strike the balance, and how important is it for you to say, listen, the attitude's not right, just don't
Yeah. Well, it's not difficult for me. I think it's more difficult for the players because I have my expectations. When it comes to playing for Bermuda, what we've assessed over the last couple of years is that we've had our best players most of the time. But unfortunately, we haven't had them as committed as we would like them to be. So therefore, you've seen the standards drop. We've gone from Division 1 down to Division 4. So we've this time made the point that, listen, we're going to do it a different way. We have to do it differently because we've been trying it that way for the last couple of years and it's failed us. So now we put things in place where players have no choice but to be committed to play for this country. And it's a process, and it may be a long process, but it's a process that we're willing to take, because at the end of the day, I think the program is what's most important, that if you get the structure right, then you can build from there. So that's what we're trying to get the players to buy into, and the players that have been in the last 21 are the players that have actually brought into it. And I think it's a very young squad, but there's some players that are in there like Delray, Trey, Taryn. These guys have been playing around. They've been around cricket for a long time, so they do have some experience, and it's their time to shine. Exactly. We have to move on. We have to move on. This is the way we're looking to move cricket forward in Bermuda cricket. You're either going to be committed or you're not going to be a part.
Cap, that was straightforward. Back to one of our more mature captains playing in the league, and obviously good choice as captain.
Yeah, OJ was. It wasn't an easy decision, because we looked at OJ, we looked at Taryn as a possible long-term captain, and then you also had a guy like Dion Stubble, who's captain before. But at the end of the day, we felt with OJ being captain now, St. Davis, he's actually week in and week out captaining a team. We felt that it will be a good decision for him. He can come in for the next at least 5 years in that position and offer us some stability where that is concerned.
Having said that, you have Jordan, who's been captain of Somerset for the entire season and top match. Any consideration there?
No, not. Like I said, this was his first year as captain, Jordan. So he again could be somebody for the future. But right now, we feel that we have the right guy with OJ, and with Taryn giving us support. When we played our trial matches early in the season, Taryn was actually captaining, and I was basically assessing a lot of his tactics and things, and I was quite happy with a lot of his field place and his changes. So I think we got the right two guys in place. And obviously you have somebody like Dion, who's been there before, had the captaincy before. We're expecting him to also offer his advice when on the field.
Somebody like Chris Douglas, was he initially picked, and then obviously he come out of the squad because of his suspension?
Chris Douglas was initially picked, yes, he was, but actually he's another one that actually withdrew himself.
How much of these social ills play into our score?
Social ills, explain what you mean.
Social ills that go on in the community in Bermuda. It's no secret. Players withdraw for various reasons, but how does the social ills of Bermuda play into guys committing to the program?
Well, truthfully, Earl, I think you have to ask those players that question. That's not something for me to focus on. I think obviously it has its impact, but at the end of the day, we all have a decision when it comes to playing cricket. If we want to play cricket, then we have to make some tough decisions. Some people are willing to make them, some people aren't. So at the end of the day, the onus falls on the player, doesn't it?